Okay, welcome back to this last episode of Gibomai or Stepsister. This is where we get to actually see the true backstory of Kyosuke's dad. Now, this one is gonna be a bit more sad because the backstory just keeps being stacked, and there's like a plot twist to this whole scenario because apparently, and I'm gonna show you guys in scenes. I'm not just gonna like play the whole clip and then we can talk about it. No, I'm gonna show you guys like scenes on how so it'll make sense, because trust me, the dots are connecting, the calculator is working, and it's all adding up. Because apparently, and this is gonna be quite of a spoiler, the mom ended up being broken to by Kyosuke's psychological and physical manipulations, let's just say. So without further ado, let's get right into this first exhibit. Oh my goodness, when I tell you guys, I almost fucking shed a tear, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Why is there so much like dark history behind this whole chaos? And yeah, I don't know what to even say at this point. I'm just like amazed, not only with the fact that the animation was good, the story was good, the backstory, the whole twist. I'm not gonna lie, the whole shtick was just amazing overall. And I'm not gonna lie, this is absolute fucking cinema. I'm not gonna lie. But anyways, let's get right into this first scenario. So Kyosuke is showing her like a video of Yuna playing with herself, literally and rigorously. And then he's telling her, well, listen, I would love to sell this on the internet and make some money. And she's like upset about this because she did not want to do this. She did this was not part of the plan. But he said, well, you told me to do whatever I want for her. So I'm technically doing what you just told me to do. So she did not like this. However, here's where things got worse. So she said, listen, I will take your place. I will take Yuna's place, and you can do whatever you want to me. So he's like, listen, if that's the case, I guess you leave me no choice. And mind you, in this scenario, she's already broken. She became a full blown masochist, and she's like, well, listen, I am already to that point of no return, so I'm just gonna do whatever he wants me to do. And they started to like have, I won't say like a squabble, but more like when she sees Yuna in that mental state, she ended up pushing off Kyosuke, and she was looking very concerned, like a concerned mother. And then Kyosuke ended up grabbing her and ended up handcuffing her, about to do the same thing he did to Yuna. But wait, it gets fucking worse from here. Bro ended up giving her some back shots, back shots of despair, back shots of doom. When I tell you, bro was giving her the works, and she was just there like, well, taking it basically. And Yuna was like, you can't be having all the fun. I gotta be in it. Talk about like crazy shit. So in this second scene here, we see that he's about to check out the latest painting, the Yearn of the Morn, that he's about to display soon, along with Megumi. And he's like, well, I'm about to check out the latest painting to see what's going on. And he asks her, and she says, well, listen, I noticed Megumi looks very tired as of lately, and what's going on? And he's like, well, preparation does take some of your energy and time, so I'm just about to check it out. So we're about to do this very soon. So anyways, I'm about to check it out, and I'll see you later. So she knew what she done. I'm not gonna lie, Megumi had to be blamed for this because she created a monster out of Kyosuke. And I feel kind of bad for little homie because it's already bad enough. He lost his mom a few years prior, then he lost his dad along with the inheritance, which stresses him out and all of that. So he has a lot of burden to carry on his shoulders. So he's looking at the painting, and something about the painting just seems off. And then we see Megumi, well, I won't say off, he's just like been staring at that painting for a very long time. And this was gonna be the painting that's gonna be next to the night's end, because this man is a painter, one of the most, if not the most successful painter in Japan. So when Megumi pulls up, he's like, I would be here, right? So before, and she's talking about before displaying it. Look, talk about the Ministry of Cultural Affairs and whatnot. She just got grabbed out of nowhere. And Broski was going on the town in her guts, literally and figuratively. Mind you, the same staff that he was talking to earlier, I'ma just call her fine shit because she does look fine. So afterwards, they ended up doing it, and she walks in on them doing the deed, and she's like, the mom, Megumi is like, "Don't look, I'm about to do all of that, and I'm about to arrive." And I was like, "What the actual fuck?" Nah, that's wild, bro. Broski was just wilding at that point because when he was crashing out technically, but he wasn't crashing out in a way that you would end your parents and all of that. None of that shit. Broski was just going through a depression basically, and afterwards, and this next scene, trust me, I think this is where the scene where it all made sense and why the son Kyosuke was crashing the fuck out. And this is where the dad ended up writing a letter, because after this scene here, we see that Kyosuke felt something. And when he realized, because he's looking at that painting for the longest while, I believe that's the Knight's End painting that his dad left behind him. So he's looking at it very intently and very like he's looking at like something right, something adding up with this painting. So he grabs the painting, and then he realized something. He felt something on his finger, and he's like, "Wait, what the hell is this?" Then he discovered a letter that starts off like this: "Kyosuke, Megumi, Yuna, there is something that I must tell you. Before I made my debut as a painter, I trained under a female painter named Azumi Murayama. It was before my own painting style had come together. A few years later, Azumi had passed away. Before she died, she said, 'There's a piece where only the sketch has been finished. I want you to finish it and release it.' I had no intention of releasing it as my own. I did it so I could give back to her, but the temptation took a hold of me. I released it as my own. It was released as mine, a no-name artist's first piece, instead of Azumi Murayama, a female Showa era artist's last piece. That piece is the Yearn of the Morn. Decades had passed, and one day Megumi, an art dealer, visited me. She had known that Yearn of the Morn was Azumi Murayama's piece. Just as I knew Megumi was Azumi Murayama's daughter, perhaps I wanted to make it up. But there were no lies in my love for Megumi. But Megumi will never probably forgive me for releasing her mother's piece as my own." And then he said, "Megumi, Kyosuke, please forgive me. This all started from my selfishness, and I don't want the two of you to have any rifts. And as for Yuna, who had nothing to do with this and doesn't know anything, I am the one to blame. I want you guys to love one another." And that marks the end of the letter that Kyosuke found due to from his father's passing. And Megumi was like in disbelief because this is the first time he ever saw that letter. And Kyosuke told her, "Listen, it's up to you whether you want to release that painting or not. And it's also up to you if you want to stay here or not. If you leave, then I will also leave." And this is where she started breaking down. And bro was just like so deep in despair. And he tells her, "Listen, I need you to understand how dad felt too." And this is where she actually was crying, like full blown sobbing. And Kyosuke is there with Yuna, and he looks like a lost soul. You can see the defeat in his eyes, and Yuna is really trying very hard to console him in any way that she can possible. But they decided to end up having the deed, of course. And while she's like crying, and then she came to her senses, she comes into the room while they're getting physical, and they ended up doing into this like complex threesome, whatever the fuck. Damn, that was like wild. And bro, what? When I watched this, I was like, damn, I didn't even know. And trust me, it's not the first time I watched this. I watched this at least 3 to 4 times to understand like the meaning behind the whole thing. Like why was there so much tension, so much like craziness? And then this is where it all makes sense. When I watched it like yesterday, I noticed that the letter was the catalyst of the entire scenario and why they were so caught up with paintings and all of that. He looks at the painting, it's like he sees his dad within that painting. Like you can see he put his heart and soul into this painting. And then they ask Kyosuke, hey, what's wrong? And he's like, nothing, mom. He called her mom. That's wild. And this is when this shit was so deep and it was diabolical, and he was crashing out. He was acting the hell out, because it's already one thing to lose your mom a few years early from an illness. It's already too close to home. When you lose your dad too, that must have hurt. I'm not gonna lie, I would have gone insane too, but not to this level at least. But anyways, I think this was absolute cinema. 10 out of 10. The two parts. I should take back the 8 out of 10 rating. This was an overall 10 out of 10. Well, let me know what you guys think in the comments. And again, thank you all so much for watching. We're very close. Well, actually, we're getting close to 900 subs. This is crazy. I never thought I'd reach this far. But anyways, thank you all so much. And yeah, look out for the next series. Until then, peace out and enjoy the rest of your week. Oh, I might do a series by the name of Nurse Me. So look out for that. Until then, peace out.